The Joker's last laugh. Have you guys ever wondered why when it comes to acting, playing clown characters in movies seems to affect the actors that play them the most? I've been researching the experience of many actors who play clown characters, and the experience they describe both before and after filming is often the same. Actors who play these characters in movies say that it mentally drains them, both emotionally and psychologically, and that they're often never the same after playing these characters, such as the most famous clown character that many actors have played, the Joker from the Batman movies. But today I'm going to be talking about the experience of 3 actors when it comes to playing these characters. The first one is Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, and Bill Skarsgard. Now, Heath Ledger played the Joker in the 2008 Dark Knight, and he is known as one of the best examples for method acting. The late Heath Ledger won an Oscar for playing the Joker in the Dark Knight, for good reason. His committed performance brought the iconic comic book character to life in the most terrifying way imaginable. Ledger passed away in January 2008 and unfortunately unable to see the remarkable impact his performance had. A clip from the documentary Too Young to Die has surfaced, and it gives a brief glimpse into Ledger's method for immersing himself in the Joker's madness. In the documentary, it reveals the diary Heath Ledger kept as he prepared for the role, which Ledger's father Kim looks through to prepare to play Batman's greatest foe. Ledger apparently locked himself up in a hotel room and then in his apartment for around a month with no contact with anybody. The diary says a lot about both how Ledger felt during those days, as well as his many influences for the part. In the notebook, an image of a hyena is visible. Perhaps this inspired his laugh, which often has a hyena-like quality to it. The notebook is filled with all kinds of dialogue from the film that Ledger jotted down. He even wrote down all his dialogue for the entire hospital room scene. In his notebook, you might notice one figure that constantly pops up, and that is none other than Alex DeLarge, Malcolm McDowell of Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, A Clockwork Orange from 1971. In A Clockwork Orange, Alex DeLarge is the leader of a gang that inflicts random horrible acts on unsuspecting citizens. Alex steals and fights and causes all kinds of chaos throughout the city. He sure does sound a lot like the Joker, a villain who simply wants to watch the world burn. Ledger was even able to flawlessly replicate that terrifying expression, often called the Kubrick stare. Heath Ledger also experienced extreme insomnia from playing the Joker character. Although Ledger suffered from insomnia for years, his sleep troubles got worse while he was shooting for the Dark Knight as the Joker. The kind of physical and mental exhaustion he went through for the role took a massive toll on his body. In an interview with the New York Times while the movie was in production, Ledger opened up about how he could only sleep for a couple hours every day before he would wake up with his mind racing with the thoughts of the character. He said that last week I probably slept an average of 2 hours a night. I couldn't stop thinking, my body was exhausted and my mind was still going. Eventually, it was a sleep deprivation which led to his untimely death of the actor before the film's release due to an accidental overdose of prescribed sleeping medication, and the artist didn't live long enough to see his art. Now, going back to Heath Ledger's diary that he kept when he was immersing himself into the Joker character. On the last page, there are chilling final words scrawled in capital letters, and it says, "Bye-bye." Heath Ledger thought landing the demanding role of the Joker was a dream come true, but now something it was a nightmare that led to his tragic death. Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker in 1989, and who was furious he wasn't consulted about the creepy role, offered a cryptic comment when told Ledger was dead, and he said, "I warned him." And yeah, apparently Jack Nicholson warned Heath Ledger about playing the Joker role and that it's really hard to come out of. But yeah, that was the sad experience of Heath Ledger playing the Joker. The next actor I want to talk about is Joaquin Phoenix and his Joker performance. So Joaquin Phoenix stated that he was going mad while preparing to play the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix stated that he started to go mad while preparing to play Joker. Joaquin Phoenix also talked about the psychological and emotional toll that playing the Joker took on him. Just like Heath Ledger, it was also mentally draining for Joaquin Phoenix. So again, there seems to be a consistent pattern with playing these clown-like characters. And the final actor I want to talk about is Bill Skarsgard. How it changed Bill Skarsgard forever. Some movie roles change a person. Pretending to be someone else for the length of a movie shoot can let the character into your head, and that's a little scary when you're playing someone like the murderous Pennywise, the dancing clown from It. Actor Bill Skarsgard put on the white and red grease paint not just once but twice, for It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. Even though his performance was beloved by fans and critics alike, Skarsgård hasn't been the same since he played Pennywise. You see, Skarsgård is a little too good at his job. Not only did he have to worry that he was traumatizing his castmates, but he spent so much time sharing headspace with Pennywise, and the character started haunting his dreams, like he does in the movies, and that's enough to make anyone feel a little unsettled. Getting into the mind of a killer demonic clown. Pennywise is the embodiment of an ancient cosmic deity that preys upon the children of Derry, Maine, roughly every 27 years. He first appeared in Stephen King's 1986 horror novel It, before being played by Tim Curry in 1990. And then of course Skarsgard in the movie adaptations. The clown from It has the ability to shapeshift, change the way reality appears, and hang out in nightmares. The scariest part, adults can't see him, so they aren't going to believe any of the kids who share their terrifying stories. Skarsgard really put all of his energy into playing the evil entity. In an interview with the New York Times, the actor explained, "Normally when you do a movie, you have those mundane days, when it's like, today's the scene where I get coffee with this character. There were none of those. Everything I did took 100% of my energy. It was by far the most exhausting character I've done, physically and mentally." A big part of the energy was the physicality of Pennywise, which involved lots of big strange movements. He also smiles in bizarre ways, pointing his lower lip downward to create a menacing grin. The coolest bit though is the Skarsgard can move his eyes independently, so the wild reverse cross-eye effect is real. Real enough in fact that he famously gave co-star Bill Hader a big scare on set. Hader wasn't the only co-star Skarsgard spooked. While he had a lot of fun terrorizing his child co-stars, he also worried that he might be traumatizing them a little too much. To make sure the kids had genuine reactions to Pennywise, director Andy Muschietti made sure to keep them separate until filming started. As a result, the first time they were all acting together, things felt a little too real. Skarsgard explains, "It was weird because as soon as they said cut, some kids were very shaken up about it. I tried to be like, oh, I'm just an actor. This is just pretend. And they kind of looked at me very suspiciously. It just hit me that it's this strange thing. If I do my job right and I'm as terrifying as I want the character to be, there are going to be a lot of people that have this kind of reaction to the performance in the film. It's a strange thing to have to deal with." Skarsgard stated that playing Pennywise was like being in a destructive relationship. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Skarsgard said that playing a character in a movie was a lot like being in a relationship with them. He describes himself as going into a relationship with Pennywise, figuring out who he is and devoting time and effort to this other person, or in this case, this thing. It started to take its toll in ways he didn't exactly notice himself. Now here's the really spooky thing about playing Pennywise according to Skarsgard. Pennywise apparently still haunts Skarsgard's dreams. Skarsgard didn't have to worry about actually dialing up the sewer-dwelling serial killer, but it was all too easy for him to think like Pennywise. When he finished filming Chapter 1, he went to his childhood home in Sweden and realized he didn't have to deal with the character's inner working anymore. Or at least until he would have to go back to Chapter 2. He said that not having to think about Pennywise anymore was like an exorcism, except if it was a real exorcism, Pennywise wouldn't keep showing up in Skarsgard's dreams, he told Entertainment Weekly. That Pennywise continued to visit him long after filming wrapped. He told Entertainment Weekly, "I was at home done with the movie, and I started having very strange and vivid Pennywise dreams. Every night he came and visited. It was in the shape of either me dealing with him, sort of Pennywise as a separate entity of me, and then also me as Pennywise in circumstances that I didn't appreciate. Like I'm Pennywise and I'm really upset that I'm out in public and people are looking at me." Yeah, Skarsgard said that getting out of character was like an exorcism for him. But yeah, those were just 3 actors that I mentioned who played clown characters in movies and who have been changed by the characters in negative ways. Now, in my personal belief, I believe the reason these characters took such an emotional toll on these actors is because what's actually happening is it's not the actor playing the character, it's the character playing the actors. And I've mentioned this before, but I want to talk about a quote that Aleister Crowley had to say when it comes to method acting. So in Aleister Crowley's book, Magic in Theory and Practice, he stated that there are 3 main methods for invoking any deity. The third method is the dramatic, perhaps the most attractive of all. Certainly it is to the artist's temperament, for it appeals to his imagination through his aesthetic sense. Now in simple English, he's saying that if you want to invoke a spirit into your life or a deity, the best, most interesting way to do it is through method acting, pretending to be another character. Now, why is it clown characters that seem to have a negative influence on actors and seems to stay with them even long after filming is over? Well, for those of you who have been on my channel for a while, you know that I discuss non-physical beings, entities from other dimensions. And a common entity that I talk about is the jesters or the jokers or the clowns that people report seeing on psychedelic trips. So now with what Aleister Crowley had to say about method acting and invoking a spirit into your life, and the fact that many people see jester, clown, joker type characters on psychedelics, now, at least to me, it starts to make sense why clown characters seem to affect actors the most. But yeah guys, I hope you found this very interesting. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support this channel, I do have a Patreon. Shout out to all my patrons. I really do appreciate your support. It does help me afford more time to make these videos. So if you'd like to support, the link is in the bio. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts on this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we are out.